Hey, how's it going, lads and ladies? We've got a couple of radios here. I was cleaning out the basement in my other house recently and found these 3 radios that I kind of forgot that I had. I'm thinking one of these belonged to someone else who had asked me at one time to maybe turn one of, I can't remember which one it is, but to turn it into a guitar amp he was wanting to do. I kind of did tell him I wasn't going to have time to do that, and he was like, well, just hold on to it just in case if you decide to get around to it, yada, yada, yada. That was kind of where we left it. So I'm thinking one of these actually technically doesn't belong to me, but it's been in my possession for... The guy left it with me. He obviously didn't care about it. I don't know which one it was. It's been so long. It's been probably 5 years ago at this point. But the other 2 are definitely mine for sure, but I don't know where I acquired them. I'm thinking one of them might have been, maybe this one might have been a Goodwill find at one point, and another one might have been a barn find. I think maybe this one was the barn find, this was the Goodwill find, and I'm thinking maybe this was the one that he dropped off, if I remember correctly. But at any rate, we're going to take a look at these, pick out probably the one with the most promising prospect of a resurrection today, and we're going to try to get one of these working. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, stick around. Let's look at these in turn. We'll go with this one first. This is a Westinghouse. It's got a plastic case. I don't know that this one is Bakelite. It looks like actually maybe straight up plastic, so I don't know. Maybe this is from the 50s or something like that. Let's see what we got here. In terms of tubes and all of that, if it has its tubes, it's already a step ahead of the game for a potential resurrection. We've got, looks like all the tubes. No, we've got an empty socket right there, so I'll have to come up with a schematic and figure out what goes in that socket if we decide to do this one today. Speaker looks okay. It's got a couple little pin holes in it up there. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see them from this angle or not. Yeah, there you can see them. Pinholes in the speaker right there. Other than that, the speaker is not completely chewed away like sometimes they are by mice and whatnot. This one, obviously, anytime you see these with these antennas on the back like this that are held on with a piece of what essentially is cardboard here, you know, this antenna's seen better days, obviously. I'm not sure how this would have been. I'm thinking it would have been something like this, you know, with like more structure over here. Anyway, we would have to do something about that, try to find something that we could mount this antenna to that's a little bit more stable than that. This thing says made in Canada, Canadian Westinghouse Limited. Do we have a model number there? Man, the model number is there, or is that a serial? Oh, there's the model right there. Does that say 5? Is that 507 or 597? One of the two, 507 or 597. And then this would be the serial number. Okay, so well, we've barely got the model number there, so that's just that's a good thing. So this is a possibility, missing a tube, and we have a model number, so it's got that going for it. Obviously, no power cable. Now let's move on to this one. This one's a little simpler model. There's no tone knob on this. It's just an on-off switch with the volume knob, which that might be better anyway. Again, here's another Canadian one. You know what? On second thought, this might be a couple of radios that were brought to me by my friend TJ. Maybe the last time he went to Canada, he might have picked these up, and that's why they're Canadian. Okay, that would make more sense. So I'm sorry about that. To my friend TJ, my apologies if these are the ones that you brought to me, which would make sense. Okay, so that's probably what these are then. And I'm completely mistaken on that. Anyway, this one's got a model number, so it's got that going for it. It's an AC/DC, which means it's series filament, but the problem, as you can see, is there are no tubes at all in it. So that's kind of going against it in a pretty severe way. I don't know what kind of tubes they are. They might be some that are really easily found. Oh, here we go. All right. A couple of those I can tell you off the bat I've already got. Yeah, this one would not be a problem at all. You can see here's the tube chart. Got a 35W4, a 50C5, a 12AV6, and a 12AU6. All four of those would be really easy to find, and it's got the locations of the tubes. This is definitely resurrectable if I decide to do that with this one. I've got all those tubes, I know, before I even look. In fact, probably any of these, if they're kind of all-American 5 style, which looks like these three are, I'm probably going to have tubes for it. It does have a cord, but the cord is shredded, so it's going to need a new one. So this one is a possibility also. I'll just need to find those tubes. My guess is that's probably about all that one would need, except for maybe some caps, just because of how simple it is. Alright, then we've got this one. This is also a GE. It's also Canadian, General Electric. I don't know if that means it's made in Toronto, but the Canadian GE was located in Toronto. Model C100, General Electric. My guess is this one actually has a phono input. My guess is this one would probably also be easily resurrectable. Let me take those screws off the back there. We're missing a couple screws. Looks like the grill cloth is completely shredded. Not in good shape. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. Oh, that's the... Okay. So the whole speaker assembly is on a separate little baffle that fits up in there. See that? That's the speaker baffle. It's a separate piece, and it's... Oh, the speaker's been moth-eaten. That looks pretty bad, that speaker. See all the moth holes in it? It would probably make sound as long as the voice coil's free, which it seems to be. There's a ton of dust in there. I could probably get some compressed air after that and blow that out, but I'm not going to start up my air compressor after dark like it is right now. It's late at night. I'm not going to do that. So this might have to wait for another day just for that reason. I just wanted to do something simple that I can just knock out within an hour or two here. Kind of got nothing else going on at the minute, so I thought I would do this. This is an AA5 style, and it's got all of its tubes, so it's definitely got that going for it. We could see if it works. I mean, I could hook up. It may just work out of the gate. And it doesn't need a whole lot. This back piece is all in good shape. Just a couple of screws we need for it. The antenna is all hooked up, so I wouldn't have to try to figure all of that out. Yeah, here's the other part of the grill cloth just coming out right there. Actually, no, I was going to say that piece might even fit back in there, but no, there's no way. Alright, so that's definitely garbage. Oh, we got some mouse shit on there. That's nice. That's great. All over my desk here. We do have a big crack on the case. We have a big crack, and that doesn't spell doom for it necessarily, though. I mean, we could fix that to some extent. We could fill that with some epoxy. I could get some epoxy on a stick and fill that in, and and then come back and sand that, and then kind of resurface it all to hold it together. So it's possible. That crack extends all the way from the bottom of the radio up through to about here, though. Looks like somebody maybe dropped it at one point. The numbers on the faceplate are all gone. That would all need to be... This would all need to be redone. or just a new glass found for it. The glass also looks like it's cracked. It looks like a crack to me in the glass, possibly, or there might be something behind it. That might be the dial cord. That's what that is. That's the dial cord. So we've got a dial cord off. That's always fun when you've got a dial cord off. So if I was going to do a full restoration on this one, it's got some things going for it, but other things it's got going against it. It would make for an interesting video for sure. Missing a knob, but I could definitely source something that looked similar and get two similar looking knobs on there. So this would make a cool restoration overall. It really would. It's not in terrible shape, but it's not in great shape. I think the most promising one out of the three here is going to be this one for right now. This is the one that I think this is the one we've got the best success chances with. So let's address this one. This takes Roberts. Of course, it takes Roberts screws. I got to find my Roberts screwdriver before we can get that off. Damn Canadians. Silly Canadians, man. All right, let's find my Roberts bits. All right, which one are you? Get out of there. S1. There it is. Yep. Aha. Yeah, this is one of those. It would be really nice to get something back here to reinforce this. What I may do is build some kind of frame for this, like out of, I don't know, some little pieces of wood or something, just to stabilize this piece. If we end up getting this thing going and it's working half decent, you know, I want it to be as nice as I can make it, and stabilizing this back piece would be a must toward that end. So we've got the screw and a wooden spacer here too. Alright, well, I just either broke the wires off or they were already off for the antenna. I'll set that aside. Yeah, I could definitely stand to stabilize this. I'll probably end up building some kind of little frame around it using like tongue depressors or something. All right, let's rustle up some tubes. 35W4, a 50C5, a 12AV, and a 12AU6. Let's do that real quick. All right, well, so this is kind of cool. I just went to look for tubes just now, and I was down here beside my desk, and here's the one that I bought at Goodwill. But notice the similarity. This is the same model essentially. Both are GEs. This has the same back. It looks like same tubes, same separate baffle for the speaker that's facing up like that. Same chassis. Basically the same model. Both of them have cracked shells though. Both of them are cracked. This one has a nice metal grill here, which would be cool to salvage that somehow, you know, and make this one work. But this has got so many cracks in it though, you know. But it does have the knobs and it does have the glass. So this one could be restored with this one's glass and knobs. That's getting this one closer to a restoration for sure. Out of the two, we could certainly make something work. The speaker in this one looks like it's better than that one too. So, you know, there's definitely, between the two here, there's definitely something. So we'll set that, put that under our hats and keep it there for a bit. This also has the cord attached, which doesn't really matter. We'd probably replace it anyway, but anyway, I thought it was funny that I had two different ones. This is the one that I got from Goodwill, and I paid $8.99 for it at Goodwill. So, yeah, forgot I had it. Interesting. Okay, so we're searching for tubes here. Let's see what we got in this box. This is a drawer. It's a drawer out of my little cabinet there. This one, the first one I found here, is a 12BA6. This has the same pinout as the 12AU6. So So the BA and the AU, that one should sub for that pretty close. I think it'll actually work. So I'm just gonna stick it in there temporarily until I can find something better for that tube. See what we have here. This one's labeled 6661. I'll have to cross-reference that number. I'm not sure. That's a 6-volter. Got a bunch here I just need to go through. There's another 12BA. If that other one doesn't work, we can try that one. There's a 6AU, but we need a 12. There's another 12BA. There's a 6AV6. We're looking for the 12-volt equivalent of that right there. That's a 6-volt, but we need the 12-volt equivalent of that. It's got the diodes in it. Let's see, another 6AU6. Got a lot of 6-volters here apparently. There's another 12BA6. Got a bunch of those apparently. 6AT, 6FQ. There's a 12AV6 right there. Boom. So there's my 12AV. Let's put that there. Got a couple of spare BA 12BA6s. I'm not even going to bother testing them. I'll just test them in the radio. There's another 12AV6 as a backup in case that one doesn't work. So that's perfect. There's another 12BE6. Shoot, I've got a bunch of those. Apparently, I found another whole bag of them as well earlier. Ooh, there's a compactron I did not know I had. What is this? 1965, 41st week, whatever it is. That's a 6AC10. I'm gonna put that with my compactron collection. These tubes here have been in here forever. On a whim, I just decided to look in this drawer. I knew they were here, but I'd kind of forgotten about them. But yeah, a lot of little radio tubes in this one. There's another compactron. That's an 8BU11. So we're halfway there. We've got 2 of the 4 tubes we need. Okay, here's another of my tube caddies. Let's see what I've got in here. I think I've got something in here. There's 50 C5s right here. Grab that one. I need a 35, what'd I say, 35W4. Do you see one? Yell out if you see it. Just let me know anytime now. Yell it out. There it is. Boom. 35W4 right there. Alright. 35W4. Alright, we got all the tubes we need. Alright, I'm gonna pull a big no-no here, and I'm just gonna pop these tubes. Well, can I do that? I can. I'm gonna pop these tubes in, and I'm gonna splice in a new power cable, and I'm just gonna see what it does. I'm just really curious. The way they've got these sockets sunk down in there like this is just a pain in the ass. You can't even see the holes for the tubes. There we go. So you can't really tell where pin 1 is. This is really stupid how they've done this. There. Well, that was lucky. Is that right? Yeah, that's the AV. That's the AU, but I've got that BA in there right now. I'll have to find another AU, 12AU6, if this doesn't work out. I'm thinking it's probably gonna, though. Alright, 50C5. I wonder if this is actually a new old stock tube. I would say nope. Phonomaster, made in Japan, 50C5. Something tells me this tube might end up being bad. Pins need straightened. They're terrible. We'll try it. If it dies, it dies. Alright, there's all of our tubes. I'm going to splice a power cable in there and just see what the hell it does. We've got some bare wire right there. Go ahead and just cut it right there then. Just gonna work. Yep. Obviously, I'm not going to leave this like this. I'm just doing this temporarily to see if anything even, if anybody's even home, you know. I was going to say I probably should just get some wire nuts, shouldn't I? At least pretend that I care about safety, right? Okay, I'm also going to need to strip this back so I can hook up the antenna. We just need a couple little gator clips to run over to the antenna. Probably alright for testing. Alright, let's fire it up. I'll try dialing it up here on the Variac. Is it even on? Yeah, it's on. Oh, I hear something. Bad electrolytics. Let's give it all the juice. Station trying to come through. I'm going to try a different BA6. Whoops, really don't. Yeah, it's kind of trying. So we know a couple. All right, so we know a few things. We know the rectifier is good. We know the power output tube is likely good. It's producing some sound. The AV6 12AV6 tube with the detector diodes in it is probably good. I do have another one of those if we want to try that other one in a bit too. Yeah, I'm thinking we just move on here. From here we move on to electrolytics. Let's replace the electrolytics and see what it does. Looks like we got one Roberts screw here holding it in, which is good. Really efficient. It wants to be repaired. It's like, repair me, daddy. Okay, don't break. Come off of there without breaking, would you? Always be very, very, very gentle with old... Oh, God. Seeing that one even cracked. I was very gentle and it still cracked. The shaft of that knob right there cracked. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that old sucker. Look at that old thing. Wow. I don't know how or why I would ever expect that to even take voltage without just giving it up completely. Look at that thing. What is it? What we got here? We got a, of course they're 150 volts. We got a 40, 20, and 5. The 5 is at 25. Okay. So I need to come up with something with a 40, 20, and a 5. I probably have something that is kind of similar. What have I got here? I got a 20, 20. Those are 450 volts though. This is a dry electrolytic. What do I have here? I've got a 40, a 30, and the 30 is at 25 volts. It's a dry electrolytic though. It might actually work. It's pulled from something. Presumably I kept it because it was in a working piece of equipment at the time I pulled it. We actually could probably make that work right there. We got a, oh shit, what'd I say that was before I rubbed it off? 40 and 40? I'm gonna try that one. It's a dry electrolytic. It may actually work. It's old as Christmas, but it's it could work. Here's another one too. This one's got a 10 at 25, and it's got, the other ones are what we need. We got a 40 and a 20 also. This one might work too. It's big though. It's bigger. Whoops. I'm gonna put my finger through the speaker. I'm just gonna hook this one up because I believe this one will fit in the existing little holder there for no other reason. Man, look how shriveled that thing is. Does anybody recognize the brand on this thing? I mean, that right there would probably tell us that 303, 330. What would that be? What, what do you reckon? 1963 or 53? Probably 53. Look how shriveled that thing is. She was ready to go. Alright, if these were new electrolytics, I would have supreme confidence in them, but I don't, so I'm just going to temporarily wire these in for the moment and just see if we can't get them to work. I'm going to feel really stupid if this electrolytic is bad.
I'm not a smart man.
Surely I wouldn't have kept it otherwise, right? Because a lot of times what I do is I'll just replace them as a matter of course, and even in a working piece of gear, you know, just to make things the best I can make them. But, you know, a little resurrection radio like this, I'm not trying to make it perfect necessarily. I'm just trying to get it working. Alright, so there's that one. Okay. Yeah. got a bad cap. Oh well. Let's put some new ones in it. Ooh, I've got a big something's been burned here. Look at this. It's been very hot right there. Check that out. I bet you this resistor's toast. What does that say? Metalmite? TCC Metalmite. Yeah, there's been some heat going through that sucker. I'm gonna fire it back up and test it again. I want to see if we get any, we shouldn't get any more electrolytic hum like we had at least. And then we'll do the power cord correctly, because obviously that's not, you know, I'm not even gonna leave that little bit of power cord. We'll do it right. Would never do something stupid like that. Not even to something I don't care about. I wouldn't do it and leave it. Especially if it was going to be possibly passed along to somebody, you know, who wouldn't know any better. Alright. It's on. Let's see what she does now. Yeah, that's way better. Electrolytic hum is gone, so we know those are garbage. We'll get rid of those.
As an investment, lots of commercials out there, but who can we really trust? I didn't want to make a bad investment, but didn't want to miss the boat either. Sound familiar? Fortunately, I've got great news. If you have an IRA or 401k and want to buy physical gold to diversify your investment, metals, and invest it myself. Use this checklist to... That almost saves you too. You know, just as much as them going out there and playing poorly. So, you gotta respect the fans. At the end of the day, the fans pay your bills. The fans pay your salaries. They do.
Because again, if they stop caring, then you're gonna stop earning all those millions.
Right, because it's not just the people show up in the buildings, the people.
Yeah, man. You can't just shoot a basketball, expect people gonna watch it, man, if you don't treat them with respect.
TV money, Rob.
That's some TV money, Rob.
You just have to understand that, and I know they're told that, and they just gotta follow the advice and listen to it. All right, Tyson's Tower of Trivia's around the corner, but first, Steve the segment with Give Nick. Steve.
A lot of booing in D.C. tonight. Final seconds before halftime.
Terrible.
The Bears have just scored again. Justin Fields, his third touchdown pass. It's with an extra point, 27-3 at Washington. Late first half, DJ Moore with a couple of touchdowns.
They should have respected the fans, man.
Targets has 5 catches, 137 yards in the first half. 27-3, Chicago leads on the road.
Chicago smoking that ass. That's because, man, the other team just did not respect the fans.
Reds wide receiver Cooper Kupp practiced.
Have selected a map with new congressional lines for Alabama after rejecting 2 maps done by state lawmakers. It gives the state a second district for black voters, comprise a substantial portion of the electorate. Daria Albinger, ABC News.
1 year ago this week, the coal miner's daughter, Loretta Land, passed away. Jay Henderson had booked a reunion show with Loretta's original band and Emily Portman as Loretta at the Lincoln Jamboree prior to passing. The band said Loretta Land would want the show to go on. It did, and it was a sellout crowd. Little did the crowd know they were seeing what the Loretta Land estate would approve and be put back on the road touring the United States, honoring the coal miner's daughter. For hosting the first show, Emily Portman returns as Loretta Land, along with Dave Thornhill and all the original coal miners band. This Saturday night at Joel Ray's Lincoln Jamboree. There will also be a special memorial to Loretta, as well as John Brown and Mike Caldwell. Tickets are selling fast.
It's not a very sensitive radio.
Will be there to buy, sell, or trade.
We might be able to tune it in, align it a little bit better than it is, but
Rifles, pistols, shotguns, and semi-automatics. It all happened October.
I didn't see any adjustable slugs or anything in it. Let's see if this other AV6 might be a little bit better.
America's tyranny hunter. Call in now.
It does seem stronger, this AV7.
Most scholars don't really know the history of the Democrat Party in any significant way. So I wanted to read a little bit something to you. And I would encourage you, the holidays are coming on, to grab your copies of this book.
Okay.
Roosevelt's first.
Alright, I think next thing to do is to get that power cord sorted out, because I don't feel comfortable like turning it over and stuff with this current in its current conditions, so we need to sort that out first. And I don't think these are tunable. Yeah, they are tunable. I could adjust those if I want. I think first though, I'm going to go ahead and replace these 1, 2, 3 capacitors. And I want to test the resistors that are in here for sure. Let's go ahead and I want to test some resistors. That one, let's start with that one right there. That's hot, which I would expect. It looks like it's a big old resistor. It wouldn't surprise me, you know, to see some burnt area there where it's been hot. You see all this blackened area up in here. it looks worse than it actually is. It's not, nothing's really burned. I don't think even the board is not really cooked. It's just a lot of soot, maybe from just impurities in the air and stuff like that over the decades, you know, kind of just smoking. Cigarette smoke, you know, stuff like that. Doesn't help. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad now, actually. Let's go ahead and do these. Let's do these coupling capacitors, these signal capacitors, and start with this guy right here. This is 05. That's an across the line capacitor right there. That's what that one is. I'm pretty sure that's what that is, but I'm gonna definitely replace it anyway. And then we have this one here is a 600 working volt. Ooh, it's an Aerovox type 634. Made in Canada Aerovox. This is a 0.01. Okay. So we need a 0.05 and a 0.01. I think I'll just go ahead and use this cord I've been using here. This white one. I don't see any reason why not. Alright. Okay. Okay, so there's the three larger capacitors, coupling caps. We do have these little mica domino caps here, a couple of those. I'm going to presume they're probably okay. You know, I do want to check the value of that a couple of the resistors. Let's spot check some resistors for sure. Should be 68 ohms. That is blue, right? 68 ohms, but it's 48. I'm gonna call that one good enough. It's probably not that critical on the value side, at least. We got one over here. There's another 6 with 2 zeros, so that's 6800. I got 6,400. A little bit low, but still, it's better than drifting way high and being real far out of spec. 4.7 with 4 zeros. So 470K, is that what that's supposed to be? It's supposed to be 470K. It's 560K. That's not that bad. Again, not that bad. This one is supposed to be, we got a brown green, so it should be 150. It is 180. 6.8 followed by 5 zeros. That one's way out of spec. It's 9.9 meg rather than 6.8 meg. It's way out of spec. I don't think I'm going to replace it though. Why? Because the radio was working. We got 2.2 followed by 5 zeros. So 2.2 meg. As we were reading 2.8 meg. Seems okay. I might try to align it somewhat here. We'll play with it for a second.
The new classification is officially.
Now we're getting a radio station on the bottom end of the dial we didn't get a minute ago.
Just recently I started listening to you guys. I grew up in the ghetto. To be honest, I never had money in my life. Both my mom and dad just worked to take care of 5 of us, So, I just grew up, working and paycheck to paycheck, rent, all my life. And so we were finally able to get this, and it was through an FHA. That's why I say we got in. Lucky to get it, but here we are. We're so happy. We have a nice little house.
Sure, but also you're so happy, but you're also very stressed. Okay, so what we want you to see is, and Jake's exactly right, being proactive with your money versus reactive. And you just said it, and I think the way we grow up with money is a huge part of our story, and that's what was modeled for you.
And Buck Sexton Show, tomorrow noon to 3 on News Radio 840 WHAS.
It's the first two of hundreds of technologies under the new rules voting on automated license plate readers and streetlight cameras.
This ordinance is not oversight. It is obstruction. The flaws in this ordinance will hamper our ability to investigate serious crimes, protect victims, and keep our community safe.
San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria says his office will now be proposing updates to the rules with each technology. High-level police cameras to simple requiring council approval, a yearly report, and 9 public meetings. I'm Jack Cronin.
In a storm, you really need to know your safe play. Actually, I've got 2, one in my home and one on my radio. When it's really nasty out, there is no one I trust more than 840.
The forecast you depend on in severe weather season and every season.
Annoying runny nose, the constant sneeze, the itchiness. It's called Navage, and it uses suction to rinse your nasal passages in seconds. Medications, symptoms, but Navage treats the problem at the source, flushing out the allergens and pollen trapped in your nose. Navage also helps wash out airborne bacteria, dust, dirt, and viruses quickly and painlessly, so you can get back to breathing clearly again. Say goodbye to sinus suffering and hello to better breathing with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Hey, sports fans, the wait is finally over. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is now live in Kentucky. And new customers can get in on the action with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Instant access to a variety of parlays features, live betting options, play props, and the best daily options in the business. And with BetMGM at your fingertips, every play and every game matter more than ever. Place your money line, prop, and parlay bets with the king of sportsbooks today. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly and offer resources to help you make appropriate choices. BetMGM.com for T's and C's.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best it's going to get without the exact tube that we're supposed to have in there. You know, like I said, I substituted a tube. It's working just fine with the substitute tube. And I think I'll probably just end up leaving it. Like I said, we need to do something about this antenna thing over here. I'll probably make up something to try to reinforce that. Yeah, this thing's probably working right now as good or better than it ever has in its life. So we're good, I think, on the electronics part. Like I said, there were only a couple of resistors that were sort of iffy, but I wasn't going to even bother replacing them. So they obviously weren't causing a problem bad enough that the thing was not operating, so I'm not that really worried about it. One interesting thing is they actually have a little block of wood supporting the magnet of the speaker here. I don't know if I've ever seen that on a radio before. Okay, let's see what we can do with this thing. Okay, so got a piece of wood clamped on here on this back piece, and it hopefully will stabilize it. And it looks like it has done the trick. This part's top to bottom is not too bad. This way it's not falling apart. But now that that's on there, kind of put the wrong side toward the outside. This was something that my daughter was using for a crafty thing, so I just used it. I may paint that black or something, but yeah, there it is. Sweet. Okay, so as you could see there, I spent some time cleaning up the chassis, kind of dusting this thing off, and it came out pretty darn good. Also went ahead and glued the tube chart on right there. The corners were peeling up on it before. There's also another chart on the bottom that has the model information and all that. I went ahead and re-glued that on there too. And yeah, this thing is pretty much ready to go. Also shined up the cabinet, which shined up really well. This Bakelite did. There was only one chip on the thing, fortunately, and it was on the bottom of the cabinet, so you'll never really see it.
Decline 1% every year with age. There's a new champion of natural testosterone boosters, and it's called Shock. CHOQ. Stack.
There's really only a couple stations on the radio around here that you can pick up most of the time, and they're there. So that'll do it for this one. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hit subscribe, and we'll see y'all later. This one came out all right.